George Soros in Davos. He says 2020 election will determine the fate of the world. Hello and welcome to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Left-wing billionaire George Soros on Thursday reportedly warned that the 2020 election will determine the fate of the world and lashed out at President Donald Trump during a private dinner event at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Soros, the 89-year-old founder of the progressive advocacy organization Open Society Foundations, accused the president of being a con man and a narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him, according to CNBC. When his fantasy of becoming president became a reality, his ego swelled, Soros said, adding, "This has turned his narcissism into a malignant disease." Soros, who has yet to endorse a 2020 Democrat candidate, then said that this year's election will decide the fate of the world, CNBC reports. In October, the billionaire argued White House contender Senator Elizabeth Warren is the most qualified to be president, but stopped short of formally throwing his support behind her. This, of course, is not the first time the hedge fund manager has taken aim at President Trump at the World Economic Forum. Last year, Soros criticized the president's negotiating style against China, which culminated in the signing of a Phase 1 trade agreement last Wednesday. Regrettably, President Trump seems to be following a different course: make concessions to China and declare victory while renewing his attacks on U.S. allies, Soros said at the time. This is liable to undermine the U.S. policy objective of curbing China's abuses and excesses. At this year's event, Soros also lambasted Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping for his government's use of a totalitarian social credit scoring system on Chinese citizens. Jinping is using artificial intelligence to have total control of his people, Soros warned. He also mused that China's president is trying to exploit President Trump on trade. These remarks follow President Trump's speech before the World Economic Forum, in which he touted his America First economic policies as a model for global prosperity. A nation's highest duty is to its own citizens, the president told attendees. Honoring this truth is the only way to build faith and confidence in the market system. Only when governments put their own people first will people be fully invested in their national futures. A pro-worker, pro-citizen, pro-family agenda demonstrates how a nation can thrive when its communities, its companies, its government work together for the good of the whole nation, he added. President Trump also used this speech to reject climate alarmism, which loomed large over this year's event, partly due to teen climate activist Greta Thunberg's attendance. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives, the president stated. We are committed to conserving the majesty of God's creation and the natural beauty of our world. Soros, in my opinion, is pissed off at Trump primarily due to the America First policies, where U.S. foreign intervention has radically decreased and the president is more focused on domestic issues and their solutions. Basically, that would have allowed Soros to abuse the foreign policies by using the Dems to grab those lucrative dark opportunities that lie overseas for people like him to exploit. But guess what? Americans voted for an American president, right? Representing the American people, who'll put Americans first before anyone, unlike Democrats, many of who regard themselves as foreign representatives. A couple to refer to, at the least, one from Somalia and the other from Palestine. You know who. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And haven't you checked out the official TST store yet? It has a variety of Patriot-themed custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, phone cases, and a lot more. Make sure to take a look and maybe help us out by picking some products at great prices. It does make a huge difference to what we're doing here. Link in the description below. If you've liked